Subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube name, it is Sam Ongoro. Now, today, I want us to read the book of Timothy, chapter 5, verse 8. And it says, this is what I feel like I want to touch and help people who probably are doing things without knowing, thinking maybe it is the right way, and yet it's not. Let me read Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. It says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Anybody who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own. That is Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. Let me read another version. It says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm trying to bring to your attention is simple. There is no blessings in helping strangers when your own blood is suffering. That is not charity. It is show offs. Ladies and gentlemen, honestly and sincerely speaking, there could be no blessings helping strangers when you know clearly for sure your own blood is suffering. Let me even go further. When you know even your house girl in your house is suffering, going through something, and you champ it, you cannot help. And you go help someone very far, a stranger. That is called show offs. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we seek for blessings where there are no blessings, absolutely. I want to ask sincerely and in a lot of humility. Do you know anybody in your family who is going through something and you cannot even help them? But outside your family, you are the champion of giving. You are a man, a woman of a big heart when your own blood is suffering. When you find out that your brother's children are not going to school due to lack of school fees, when you know your brother or your sister is sleeping hungry, there's no food. But you have been blessed, you have so many, you have plenty. You eat until you cannot even sleep because of overeating. And you know very well that your sister, your brother, has no food. His children or her children don't have food. You know your parents have no food. And yet you have plenty. You know that your sister's children are not going to school. Your sister has no house, has no roof over her head. Your brother has no house over her head. But you've been blessed. You live in a mansion with 18 rooms. You're driving high-end cars. But you can help people out there. My brother, my sister, no matter how many people, how many strangers you help out there, it will not help you get a blessing. Those are not blessings. The Bible even says. So charity begins at home. I went to a place whereby a guy here in the city, the guy has a big hand. He has a big heart. He helps everybody and everybody. Even anybody who needs help, they call him and he helps. Wait until I met is parents. The parents are suffering. They don't even have a decent house to sleep in. They have a leaking roof all over. And then the sister is suffering. Her children are not going to school. But the guy is out there throwing parties, helping anybody he can find. And yet, his family, his own family members are suffering. Those are not blessings. My brother, I can tell you for free. The Lord is the creator of the entire earth and the universe. Has said clearly that anybody who does not help his family and relatives, especially his households, he has denied the faith. And yet the Bible says, you are worse than the unbeliever. Those who know nothing about God, those who don't go to church. And guess what? Some of these people you find, they are our staunch leaders, staunch Christians they claim to be in our churches. They are the people who are taking people to heaven. And then you wonder, charity begins at home. Before you go out there helping so much, please, my brother, my sister, make sure that you have helped, you've done house cleanup in your family and your relatives. And guess what? God does not make mistakes. God put you there for a reason, and He blessed you for a reason so that you can touch those people, so that you can be a blessing to your family. When God has blessed you with a lot of money, with plenty, be an umbrella where your relatives will come to seek for shelter in case of rain. In case of scorching sun, that's what they will come for shelter. Be a borehole where they will come and fetch water. God has blessed you for a reason. Don't take it for granted. You know, we can choose friends, we can choose wives, lovers, we can choose neighbors, but brothers and sisters, you cannot choose relatives. You cannot choose your father, you can choose your mother, you cannot choose your mother, you can choose your sister. You cannot choose who to be your relative. It is God given. So when God put you there, He knew. He knew that you will be there to help them. My brother, my sister, you have a charity organization, yes, you have a big heart, you are a helping hand, I salute you. But could you please go back, take a few steps back. Go take a look at your family. Do your mother and father sleep in a nice bed? Do they have a decent shelter? Make them comfortable before you run out there helping. You just getting places from sources that don't even matter. I'm not saying there's something wrong with helping strangers. Absolutely help them. But before you do, make sure that your family is comfortable. My brother, your wife is suffering. Your wife is going through a lot. And yet you're here flashing money. Your brother is sick. Your wife is sick. You cannot even take her to hospital. Your sister's children are sick. Your relatives are going through a lot. They're sick. They're suffering. And yet all you can offer are the prayers. But when strangers need help, upon demand, you are there to help. Let's try to be a little bit kind. No matter what family members have done to you, maybe God is trying to test your faith. Maybe God is trying to see your patience. It does not matter what someone has done to you. Family will always be family, and you cannot separate yourself from your family. Try to help as much as you can, but please start with your family. If your wife has a financial issue, help your wife. You find some men, they are splashing money out there, but their wives have no clothes. They have even no money to do their hair. Their children don't even have nice clothes to wear. But when you meet the guy, the way he dresses high end. The guy drives high end vehicles. But his children and the wife, when you look at them, you pity them. And then the guy is a champion of helping out here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's read the book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 25. It says, no, let's go back. I'm sorry. Let's read Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 12. And it says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end, it is the way of death. There is a way that seems right to a man, but it is the end. And it is the way of death. My brother, my sister, there's some things that you do that seems right to you. Maybe you don't know, maybe you know. And I'm here to talk to those who don't know. Maybe what you're doing is right. You're helping people all over. Maybe you didn't know that those are no blessings. Blessings starts from home. My brother, my sister, it doesn't matter how many spiritual fathers you visit. It does not matter how many prayers you receive a day. It does not matter how many miracles you receive a day. But some blessings have to start from home. There are some doors of opportunities that will not even open unless you treat your household and your relatives right. It may seem right to you, but God's ways are not man's ways. And all I'm trying to say here, helping strangers is good, but make sure that your family and your relatives and your household are comfortable before you go out there. There's no way your parents will sleep hungry and you're buying food for everybody out there and expect the blessings. Let me put it this. Let me put it like this. Maybe your family is suffering without you knowing. But if you know what your family and your household is going through and you are not helping, my brother, my sister, you are lying to yourself. There are no blessings. You know, there's some blessings only comes from the parents, from your family and relatives. You can help as much as you can. But charity begins at home. Take a few steps back and ask yourself a question. Is my family member, any of my family members, is there any of my relative who is going through something that I'm not helping? You are denying the faith, and you are worse than the unbeliever. What I'm trying to say is simple. If your family member is going through something, if your relative is going through something, don't ignore them. God is trying you. God is trying you. And they'll ask you one day, you knew very well that your relative was hungry. You knew that your relative was sick. You knew that your wife was going through something. Did you help? And maybe God put those people there for a purpose. And maybe that's why God has blessed you, so that you can be a blessing to them, so that you can be a blessing to your family members. But some people I don't understand. Some people are champions of helping out there. They help anyone and anybody they come across to, except their family members and relatives. Make sure that your relatives and family members are comfortable. And even your house girl, anybody who works in your household, make sure that they are comfortable. There is also another verse that says, pay your employees promptly for the work or the service that they have rendered to you. So be kind to your family members. Be kind to your relatives. Only if you do that you get blessings. All these other things you do out here, they're just show-offs. They're no blessings. But if you want to touch blessings in a mighty way, in a very special way, charity begins at home. There's no way I can go help the people out there when my sister is suffering, when my sister's children are not going to school, when my brother's children are not going to school, when my brother is sick, I cannot even help. When my brother has no shelter, there's no way I can go around helping people. When my parents are suffering, when my parents have no nice clothes to wear, when my parents have no good shelter, yet I'm helping people out here. I'm paying rent for people. Do you think those are blessings? You can be prayed for. You can see or visit as many spiritual fathers as you can. You can give as much offerings as you want. You can give as big tithes as you can. You can go to any big special churches and see those big prophets. They do not do you good. Some things are not spiritual. You need to go back and start from the grassroots. Then up, you will get blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you should not help strangers. Strangers are also humans. And by the way, service to humanity is service to God. But there's no way I can give service to humanity when my own blood is suffering. And I know and I'm aware, but I'm not helping. We are just lying to ourselves. That's why I read the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 12. There is a way that seems right to man, but if these ways leads to death. Go read it. It is there. It is God who says, the Creator. God knows your end from the beginning. I have seen a lot of people who are bragging out here, who are living large, but go to their family. You beat them. You'll be tempted to ask him, why are you bragging around? I haven't seen anything to brag around. Yes, you live large, but how does your family live? How does your people in your household live? Are they living large, or just you? Ladies and gentlemen, actions speak louder than words. Let me leave it at that. And may God touch you in a special way. If you're one of those who does that, may God touch you in a very special and mighty way, so that you can go back to your grassroots and do the necessary. You did not choose your brother, your sister, your mother. You did not choose your relatives, but God gave you those relatives, those family members. All I want you to do is sit back, look back, and help them if you are able. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for subscribing to my YouTube channel. My YouTube name, as always, it is Samongoro. May God bless you abundantly.